don't really introduce this one, do we?
We can do whatever we want.
All right. Welcome to the penultimate episode of Men in Red Tights. That's right. We're doing episodes 11 and 12 of Daredevil tonight, and then we've only got one more, and this series is done. Then we go into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and probably that Mockingbird project. Is that going to happen, do you guys think?
It's got to.
Yeah, it'll probably be done. ABC is really investing in Marvel. Disney's investing in Marvel, and I think they feel that they've got something going with the Inhumans, and I think it's a character that people like. So I think it was something that was rumored last year, and then they kept shooting it down. So I think it's
happen. But was that the same thing? Because I got the impression it wasn't.
I got the impression it was that they talked about Mockingbird going off and doing her own. Not solo, be a
right. But I think that might have been a different. I mean, that might have been what this evolved into. But I think that other thing was kind of like how DC is doing Batman versus Superman, where they're like, "Hey, we've got this idea for Superman 2," and then it became all this other stuff. And I think that's what we saw was they thought, "Oh, we can branch off Mockingbird and Hunter into this thing," and then I think what we've got now is what came out of that. It's my guess.
Have you seen any of the some of the fan reactions on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. page?
To what? To this?
Well, no, actually to Trip. That's something I think we should talk about on our next Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, because there's been a lot of reaction lately, with the new season coming up, about them killing off Trip.
Oh, really? Like people upset by it?
Oh, very upset. He's a hero all the way to, the...
Well, yeah, we didn't like that Trip went. No.
In fact, I wrote in that the writers have actually been infiltrated by Hydra.
Very nice, Jack. Way to represent.
Ho, ho. So back to Marvel. We've got...
Wait, what are we doing?
We're doing Daredevil.
Yes, okay. Shall we introduce... Did you have something about Marvel, or did you want to start on this episode?
I think we should start.
Okay. You know what? We're doing let's start with season 1, episode 11, The Path of the Righteous. There we go. Now we have an official intro to that part.
Cool.
So what do you want to say, boys? Did you guys like this episode?
I love the Warner Brothers cartoon beginning. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was the best part. I thought it had some great action set up. Vanessa was poisoned, and I think that was at the end of 10, right?
Right. Yeah, we saw her getting poisoned at the party, and Owlsley drop his drink.
Yeah, and so we really see the depth of Wilson's really love for Vanessa. He is really broken up over this, and really kind of drops everything. Which the whole reason that they poisoned her in particular, I think, is because they wanted Wilson to get more focused on the business, and they thought that he had too many distractions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
So it's...
Well, do you think they were going after him or just her? Although you're being awfully quiet.
Yeah, it was definitely aimed at her. I mean, you could.
You don't think it was aimed at Fisk? I thought they were making a move on Fisk.
No. They need Fisk. I think they were making a move on her because they want Fisk to be himself. Like, ever since Vanessa came along, you can see that not everyone's been happy with his actions.
Well, yeah, they're not happy with that, but they're also not happy with how he handled that ninja guy. And, I think just in general, why not make the move and get rid of Fisk? And I think that's what they were doing.
No, I think it was that they wanted to redirect him.
By poisoning Vanessa.
By poisoning Vanessa. I think they wanted her completely out of the picture because the Chinese lady had really already said, it's going to be, you're going to take care of it, or fate is going to take care of it for you.
Right.
So they really said it. The timing was just too soon after that to be anything else. And of course, Leland, they kind of made it look like he could have taken a sip of it too, but his little beady eyes were darting.
Yeah, did you guys
all the
believe
way
for a
around.
second that he was going to be a victim? I thought for sure he was involved.
Yeah, just the way he was reacting, and I can't believe he's not dead yet, because it just there's really no, like, I mean, what is, I guess he controls the money part, but
Right.
anybody can control the money. The lady controls the drugs, and Fisk has distribution, especially now that the Russians are gone. And Leland just really seems like the most replaceable of the bunch. So that was the point. That was the part that really surprised me, that he didn't get eliminated at this point.
Well, yeah, but I mean, as this episode goes on, we find out. I mean, it doesn't matter if we're in order on this thing. We hardly ever are anyway. But we find out that Leland was behind it.
Right. Well, that's very much later, but
is that in this episode or the next one?
Actually, I think that is.
I think that's this one where we find out that Leland. It doesn't matter. I mean, this episode we're going to cover both at the same time, but
right.
But I think that it was.
It's towards the end of the. I think it's towards the end of the other one.
Really?
Yeah, episode 12. Yeah, it's that part of it was part of that whole The Ones We Leave Behind.
Oh, right. So this whole episode, we're still thinking. Well, we still don't know.
Right. Well, I mean, like I say, just taking that out of the, taking the knowledge out of the picture, just the way that Leland acted, and the whole thing, like, oh my God, that could have been me. I was there, and it's like, man, how many times are you going to say that? It casts suspicion, but I think it was enough to fool, Wilson and Wesley, and it served its purpose.
Right.
But there's so many things going on. I think really their focus on this episode was to keep Vanessa alive, and that.
Okay. So I asked
Karen
you guys,
Karen is the one that really kind of drives this episode.
Yeah. Well, I asked you guys at the front what you thought of the episode, and I didn't get a definitive.
And Jack, I'm with you. I do think that there was a lot of things going on here. This episode to me was a big setup for the finale.
Yeah, that's all it really was.
Yeah, at any of the seasons, that you get on TV, you get that one that's either right before the 2-hour finale, and it all plays setup. Except, although this one did have a big push,
huge push at the end, huge game changer. But you know what? It's weird because this was kind of my least favorite episode of the whole thing so far, because it was just a lot of talking and not a lot going on, and this is the first time I found myself like kind of disengaged until the ending. And it's not like I need just action, but I don't know. There wasn't like, I want Matt's story, and Kingpin, like, just being sad, it doesn't do a lot for me.
And everybody else was like drowned out in alcohol.
Yeah. And them just being, mad at, foggy mad at Matt. And it's like, well, they're not interacting, and I don't know. It was nice that, now you say she's not the night nurse, but it was nice that what we're calling the night nurse showed up again.
Right.
I thought it was very interesting that prior, it seemed like they were going to have this little love interest, and they kind of decided to kind of shut it down because, he was endangering her life. And so, and I think this just reinforced that relationship. She is there to patch him up. She knows he's a martyr, and his path just leads to nowhere but his martyrdom. Right.
Yeah, I like that. I like that scene with them. It was one of the better scenes in the episode for me.
For all of it, I actually enjoyed the storyline. I enjoyed the setup. There was a lot of depression and drinking, but it did show a lot of the personality, that personal side of Wilson Fisk.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of times you don't see that background, like the family man, the kid that had to kill his father to save his mother. And one of the things I really liked later on, when Karen has been kidnapped by Wesley, and he's really, how do you feel about this town? And she really doesn't have an emotional attachment to Hell's Kitchen, but he's said, it doesn't take long to do an emotional attachment. In fact, he can't stand it. He said it's the kind of place where the stink gets on your clothes and you just can't wash it off.
Yeah. Okay, there was some good dialogue. That was one of the spots where the dialogue was really good.
Yeah, I was very disappointed that Wesley got shot, but I counted the number of bullets that she put into his chest was 7.
Yeah, they wanted to make sure we knew he was dead.
Yeah, I'd actually watched it before, and I just watched it a couple hours ago, and as a refresher. And at first I thought, she just kind of got that nervous, kind of squeeze off, and
not 7 shots later though.
No, she's what makes you think I haven't killed somebody before? And of course, Wesley's totally calling her bluff and said, you don't think I would load the weapon and blah blah blah. But he goes to stand up, and she just puts one in the right side of his chest.
Yeah,
and then
that wouldn't have killed him.
No, but
where that was placed, that would have hurt, but not killed him.
Right. Well, he sits there and he looks at it like, oh my God. And then he kind of looks back at her, and that's when
he's like Jimmy Walker. Remember on Good Times when he got shot? He goes, "Oh my God, somebody's been shot."
Exactly. And then she puts 6 more center mass in his chest.
Yeah.
Before, it was like, wow. I mean,
yeah.
It took some patience it's for this episode, but it had some really cool stuff. You just kind of had to wait through some of it. But
now going into it, like I said before, I didn't know. I'm trying to be real clean about this whole thing and not know. Right. And I knew that some important characters would die in this. I've heard rumblings, but I've avoided like who and when and all that. Right. And I did not see Wesley dying.
No, I mean,
was that a shocker to you guys when it happened, or were you like, yeah, I knew this was going to happen?
He's a really central part of the Kingpin story.
I know.
As well as Vanessa, and she almost dies, and now Wesley's gone. It's like, what the heck do you do now?
A little. Did you see that coming? Were you shocked by it?
I did not see this character dying here. I didn't think he was. I would have thought that a big death would have been for somebody who we didn't know of. I mean, Wesley's got a history in the books with Kingpin. I mean,
right. This is almost like Foggy getting killed.
Right.
Yeah, where it's like this is a Foggy. Big character. It is, yeah, so man.
It's just very bizarre that they would go this way. Not in a bad way. I mean, it's just
it upped the drama. That's for sure. Yeah. I was really shocked, and when I almost. In that scene, I thought, well, okay, during this, I was thinking somebody was going to die, but I thought it was going to be either Karen or Ben. And I really thought, like, thinking about Karen's storyline and everything, I thought, the way they've played this, they could kill Karen here. I actually saw her dying more than I saw Wesley dying.
Right, well, because you could have that as like a defining moment for Foggy and Matt. Like, it would get them back together.
They've been splintered, and this could bring them back together. But, wait, we stymied a Lil.
Did that, or did we just lose him?
No, we stymied him because he went.
I did. No, I mean that is interesting to go that route to bring those two characters back together. I mean, I guess this to me gives us more layers of Karen than I thought we were going to get, and it could play out down the road in if she survives this season or going on to next season, like what kind of character she's going to develop with having this kind of blood on her hands.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the dream sequence where she thinks that Wilson Fisk has broken into her house. And he says, all I can tell you is it gets easier.
Yeah.
So
I'm still thinking about what you just said a little. Sorry, Jack.
Oh no, go ahead.
But I'm still thinking about it. Maybe this is the blood on her hands and everything is the lead in to the Karen storyline, because if you know the comics, she's the one. Isn't she the one that betrays him? She goes to drugs and ends up betraying Daredevil.
I believe so. I know she gets hooked on drugs. I don't remember the betrayal part.
The betrayal is the whole Frank Miller storyline. The whole first part is Karen tells who he is, and that's how Kingpin finds out that he's Matt Murdock and goes after him.
But would that make complications in this? Just because, once that happens, what do you do?
What do you mean? What do you do? It's not going to happen this season. It probably won't even happen next season. I'm talking, at some point they're going to do that thing where his life gets completely burned to the ground.
Right.
And Karen is a big part of that.
Yeah,
this could have been the planting the seeds for that, because there were references in here to her drinking, and then she said to Foggy that she wished she had something harder, and he was like, "Oh yeah, a doobie," and she's like, "A little harder than that."
Yeah, and he told her to stay off the Mary Jane, and it might have been some veiled reference to
that she might have a history, or that she might be willing to go that way, because she wasn't like laughing it off,
right? And the whole storyline centers around heroin. So what you could do is they kidnap her. They drug her up with the heroin. The Matt saves her, and everything's honky dory. Except at the end of the day,
she's hooked.
And then then that's when the whole mess starts. I just don't think that they can introduce that this close, this soon. But once you introduce that, they're making those subtle references. I don't think you do that. I don't think you do that like 3 years in advance. I think they're going to up the game.
Yeah, but if they're treating this the way Breaking Bad did, they very well might be too. They might be playing a long game with this one. And if they're saying, look, we're going to get 3 or 5 seasons out of this and be done, and that would make sense. I mean, you could put this character through the ringer in that amount of time. And if you plant that seed in this season, and then season 3, season 4, even season 5 is where we find out she's on heroin and she's strung out, and she gives Kingpin the info and he goes ballistic. That could be, because next season we know we got Punisher. I'm sure Kingpin will be in it, but I don't think he's going to be your big bad. I don't think they're going to repeat that for the next season.
Right. I don't know. I just don't think that that level of subtlety is going to happen in a 5-season show. I think
it did on Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I don't know that compares in the same way. I mean,
it was a 5-season show. They did 12 episodes a year. It's not dissimilar. And
I don't think the veiled references. I mean, he was into the crystal meth like almost right off the top. He
was, but I'm saying there were seeds planted in that first season. If you go back after watching the whole series and you watch that first season, there are seeds planted that don't come through until season 4 or season 5 even, where you're like, oh my gosh, that's what that guy was doing in the background, or that's what that guy said. Right. That's what they could have been doing with this.
Maybe I just don't. I'm going to put it. I'll mark my words there that okay. I don't think that they're that. I don't think they're at that deep level. I think they're setting it up. It's going to happen sooner. So that's.
Well, you're a notary. Can you note that?
I am not a notary, but yes, I will note that.
I like how he's always so specific. I am not a notary, but yes.
You said something very specific. You accused of Lil of being a notary public.
No, I just said he's a notary. Something different. I am not a notary.
I think the subtle humor has lost us both.
Yes. Okay. I want to say the best line in the whole episode. Although Jack's, yours was pretty darn good.
Oh, I love that.
But there was a line. It was so good I had to write it down. It was one Fisk said. It was when he was describing what he was going to do, and he says, I think he was saying it to Vanessa about getting revenge, and he goes, "I want to look in their eyes when I salt the earth with their blood." It's like, oh, that is the best.
Yeah,
that was a heck of a line. Yeah, and you're right, Jack. It wasn't this one because this is where Gao is denying any involvement. We're still seeing that Owlsley looks like he didn't do anything. That's when they're really blaming Karen for going out, or they're after Karen because she went out to Fisk's mom, and that's why Wesley gets shot. I mean, it was a lot of complications in this one. But
Wesley did not share that information because
he was trying to take care of it.
Right, because of Vanessa. So he went out alone. It was funny that the guard that told him Wesley ordered him to stay. He gave him his weapon. Blah blah blah. He sent him out alone, and he just screams, he was my friend, and first headbutts him and then just proceeds to beat the snot of him until Leland says, I don't think
you want to kill that guy.
Right. I think that's called loyalty. And, he tells the guys to go clean him up. And much later, it might have even been in the next episode, Leland sees the guy again. And he says, "I thought you had an issue with him." He said, "Wesley trusted him. That's all I need."
Yeah, that was in the next episode. So let's go into that. Season 1, episode 12, The Ones We Leave Behind. It starts out with Karen pitching the gun into the water. I was watching it once again with Martha, and she said, "Wouldn't you tie a rock to that gun?" Because she just kind of chucked
they float?
it. Well, it's like, she threw it about 6 feet from the shore. So it's like, well, I don't know. Somebody might find that one.
Yeah, but it's in New York. There's guns everywhere.
Right. It's just like it fell into a pile of them.
Exactly.
Right. And you got to if it's down there for any length of time, you're not going to get fingerprints. It's the other guard's weapon.
Right.
So, it just you wouldn't funny. Really. Yeah, it was kind of funny. So I think you just have to imagine that
I would drive on the bridge and just open the window and chuck it out the window.
No, that's stupid.
Why?
Because there's no guarantee that it will clear the bridge. Have you ever thrown something out of a car? It never goes where you intended it. Like you eating an apple. And of course you're not even supposed to, later on you find out, well, then the rats eat the apple near the road, and then the magnificent bird comes, eats the rat, and then gets hit by a car, and then you've killed an eagle. So
Jack's quoting his children's book that he wrote.
Right.
Don't say, where does this go?
Well, it's
there's a squirrel that comes and eats the dead carcass.
This is his version of if you give a mouse a cookie.
Exactly. If you give a mouse a cookie, a baby will die.
Holy cow.
Well, that's what they have you believe, because then the eagle comes down and gets it, and then the eagle's pissed and then goes after children. So don't throw things out of a car. But anyway, the end result is physics just doesn't work like that. You can't guarantee that that what you throw out of a car is going over.
I would throw it out of a car just to see what the physics are, and I want to see the rat with the giant bird. I want to see the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
I have a quote. There is a new Dr. Seuss book, so it actually might be in there.
I have a quote. The only other quote I wrote down in the two episodes, but see if you can guess who said this one. It's just me, the dick.
That's got to be Foggy.
It was Foggy.
Dude, I really liked the fact that he went back to his old girlfriend from the law firm.
Do you?
Oh, dude, that was completely awesome. Karen's totally gone to drink, and probably going to be doing heroin within the next year or two. Everybody's life is falling apart, and he is totally getting laid from the soulless white girl at the law firm.
We know where your priorities lie, John.
Yeah, right.
I still have a thing for Catwoman. So what can I say? Now I'm going to hear that from Phil and
yeah, right. No, you're going to hear that.
But
yeah, actually, she is the most one-dimensional character on here. She's the only one that I'm just like, she's a caricature. She's all right.
I love that, though. I mean, that's like, that's what kind of almost makes it like real life. She's at the law firm to make money. She's
Okay.
wearing the, she's wearing the tight skirt and the pumps and just Foggy just goes for it.
Now,
like
this is where he told her about Fisk also, right?
Yes, and towards the end, and she's, I could lose my job. I could get disbarred. And he says, "Well, just look at it.
Yeah, just go for it."
And Foggy, just about the time you think, he's incompetent, he always does some really cool stuff. And he brought up the fact that at some point they're going to figure out all the shit that Fisk has done.
Right.
And when the law firm, when everything goes down, this will be your one chance. This is her golden parachute.
Yeah.
That, and, in reality, Fisk will probably just find her and kill her. But, legal wise, if something does happen, this is her way out. And, Foggy's made a good case for that. And, I thought it was just a really clever, a clever exchange.
I did too. I liked it. I just find her to be kind of one-dimensional. And It's not even a slam on the actress. It's just they don't really do anything with her.
But that's okay though. I mean, you can't have everyone here have so much depth because we're gonna get into it. I mean, they killed a main character last episode. Guess what's gonna happen this episode?
Can you believe this one?
This one, like, my jaw hit the ground.
This is J. Jonah Jameson to Daredevil. I mean, this is that character that, like...
But not even that character. He's been in so many of the Marvel books all
over the books.
And
But he's so important in Daredevil, and, like, he is the opposite of Jameson. Jameson's the guy that's, just trying to... call these guys criminals, and Ben was always the guy trying to get the real story and get to the root of the crime. Without him, I mean, that's a big hole they've left.
Yeah, now either they're going to have to fill it, they're going to have something that rallies around Ben's death, and then somebody...
Oh, I think Matt's going to go crazy.
Yeah, but what can he do? He can't do anything more than what he's done. I think somebody will fill the hole, maybe a younger, newer character. I think it was a big mistake, personally. I think
killing him off,
yeah. I think the only thing it serves to do is put Karen back in the clear from getting killed for seeing the mom.
Right.
Somebody had to go down for seeing his mother, because you knew that was like, what did Wesley say? The only thing he loves more than the city, which he'll do anything for, is his mother.
Right.
And
but this could also be that final straw that breaks Karen for next season.
Right.
Like this now, we were talking
once
about
again,
blood on her hands. This is even worse because she, defending herself against Wesley, you could eventually...
Wesley's a bad guy.
Exactly. This
Ben
is something that
is a very good guy. Yeah.
And she caused it. She forced him, she lied to him to take him out there to meet his mother, and this is what he gets.
It is going to make Matt crazy, though. I mean, he is going to go hardcore. And this is the next to last episode. He's got to go hardcore at Daredevil, or at Kingpin in the next episode.
Yeah, but this is like a Batman series, and they kill off Robin, or...
yeah, exactly.
Or, what's the butler?
Alfred.
Yeah, like, it's maybe more like killing off Alfred. It's like, wait a minute, this is like a central guy to the entire series, and like you say, even Jonah Jameson. Man, it's like, yeah, how do you go about that? But
so much history in this, yeah.
And so I think either they'll drop the paper storyline because now Fisk owns the newspaper, or they'll just have to have something that fills the shoes, and it'll all be internet blog, which they seem to think that was was going to solve everything.
Well, I do feel that season 2. I mean, we've seen a lot. If you guys have paid attention, I mean, we know Elektra's popping up. We know Punisher's popping up. So season 2, they're going to take a different tone with it. So maybe they don't need that kind of character like Ben is in this series.
Right.
Plus, if you look at it realistically, I don't want to say this in a bad way, but that kind of journalism is kind of dead. I mean, we
no
even,
pun
even saw it in
intended.
this. Yeah, well, and we even saw it in this season. Like, they're giving Ben fluff pieces, and
Well, they even said it in this episode. Like, get a blog, cut this out.
Right.
This doesn't happen anymore.
And
so maybe that's what they were doing.
It's like you know what they need? They need podcasters in the next.
Oh
next season.
Yeah, I know some they could get pretty cheap.
Definitely,
the Underground Hell's Kitchen podcast.
Right.
So yeah, exactly. The podcasters will be like in the movie Pump Up the Volume. We'll just tell the truth of what's going on in Hell's Kitchen.
Are you going to take your shirt off like Samantha Mathis in that?
Of course. And I'll do my milkshake dance. Let me put it on let me turn on my camera so you guys can watch.
Sorry for the Patreon joke, but I just can't subscribe to that one.
Well done, Jack.
Thank you.
And a little gross. So I want to point out another one. When Matt was following, Daredevil, he was Daredevil at this point. When he was following the blind woman,
oh yeah,
we finally got some really cool Daredevil stuff because we've seen him fighting, we've seen him do stuff. Here he's becoming Daredevil. When he was sliding down the banisters, when he was flipping over the buildings, I'm like, this is Daredevil. Yeah,
it took a while to get to that point.
Well, yeah, before that, he was, in the shadows, he'd jump out. But if you read the, especially the Daredevil Yellow, that series, and that's where he wore this black outfit, it was a while in the beginning, like the first issue, he never really did those moves. He was in the background. He was like hiding in the shadows. And then when he got his costume, he made the yellow costume, then he came out and did more. And by the end of it, he's like fully doing the Daredevil moves.
We really didn't talk about it in the previous one, but he goes and sees the body armor guy. So
we didn't talk about it.
I wonder if in the next season that's what they're going to be going towards. Is it going to be the yellow costume? But whatever.
No, it's the red one, because they actually the cover of the series shows him in the red one. So they're not even going to do the yellow. And actually,
it's
this just in
soon though.
Wait, this just in. Yeah, well, it's in the next episode. We're going to see the red outfit. But this just in, I just pulled off the internet. They released pictures of at least one of the outfits he wears in the next season. And it looks like, man, what series? It looks like that series from the 90s where he had the red, but he had like the black pads.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, because they used that in some of the cartoons as well, and they have a few figures of that one.
Yeah, it's really cool. But you know what? There's everything with Daredevil's cool. There is not a non-cool outfit.
No, the yellow one is not cool, but
the yellow one is sweet.
No,
shut up.
If somebody came out in that yellow and red leotard, I think people would laugh at it.
I'd get the pop vinyl of it.
I have the pop vinyl of it.
See, you love it.
I do that all the time, and I don't get that much of a reaction.
What, pop vinyl?
No, you wear the yellow spandex.
Yellow spandex.
Yeah, but you just look like a weeble when you do it.
That's true. I won't lie.
Yeah, gross. I'm still thinking about a little of this milkshake dance.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
Oh, you like big butts. You cannot lie.
I do.
Some other brothers can't deny.
Yeah, they can.
When a girl walks in with the itty bitty waist and a round thing in your face, you get sprung.
That's it. Hip hop with a Z right there.
Yeah,
that's
right. Yo, Dre, I got something to say now. Let me in here. You like that? See, I got all hip hop on you.
I like it. Bring it to town, man. Bring it to town.
You watch one Straight Outta Compton preview and
that's all I can quote. I can do that, and I can do Too Legit to Quit. I can just do the hand symbol for that. That's it.
You can't touch this.
Can't do that one.
Oh man! All right, let's finish up Daredevil here.
So let's see. Yeah, let's just run through the stuff here. Karen tells Ben. Ben gets killed. Matt follows the blind woman. Cool Daredevil stuff. He finds out that it's Madame Gao has her heroin operation, and these people are blinding themselves to be able to do this job. Very strange.
Did you guys notice the logos on the heroin?
No. Oh, was it? You know what? It was Power Fist, right?
Iron Fist.
Iron Fist. Whatever.
Power Fist.
I don't care.
I've got a Power Fist.
I'm tired. Yeah, it was. And did you also catch the other Iron Fist moment when they said, where are you from? China? And she's like, it's a little further than that.
Oh yeah.
It's like, yep, that she's referring to where Iron Fist is from. So that's pretty cool. Although who knows if we'll ever get that series? It sounds like they're having trouble getting that one together.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand why they're having so much trouble.
Well, you're asking too much to play Iron Fist. A little.
I come cheap, and they can give me all the liposuction I need to get in that suit.
Wow.
Gross.
So
gross.
It's pretty telling that they've left Leland completely alone, because this guy is barely competent as it is. I mean, he couldn't even act his way out of the poisoning.
Right.
Yeah, but you know what though? He's right in the sense that he's the money man. He knows where everything is and where everything is.
Yeah, he's super important.
So if you take him out, you're losing your entire fortune. Your empire has backing, and that's what he is. He's the gatekeeper to that.
Yep. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. And he's actually a pretty interesting character in the comics. And now his son is something too, isn't he? Is his son the owl and he's just like kind of a big jerk, or is he the owl? I can't remember.
I can't remember. I have a mission over the next several weeks. I plan on going back and reading as much Daredevil as I can, and
yeah,
man. I've been reading a lot of other stuff actually recently. So
yeah, I actually went through. There's a really good series. It's newer. It's like in the last year or so, where Matt has come out as Daredevil. Did you read this?
I knew about that. Yeah, I didn't read it.
It's really good. He moves to San Francisco, or I think he's in San Francisco, and everybody knows he's Daredevil, and he's almost like a celebrity. Like people are like, wow, we've never had a superhero like this around here. And it's really interesting because there's moments where like he's chasing people and he's like, everything here smells the same. Like I can't figure out where I am. Like I have these great heightened powers, but I'm used to New York where I can bounce stuff off of buildings and like, I don't even know how to get around it. It's really cool.
Huh.
Yeah. I just finished, I think first 14 issues of that. Now I'm reading, that Ms. Marvel. Did you read that?
The new Miss Marvel?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Oh my gosh, is it good, man? It just won I think it won a Hugo Award for Best Graphic Novel. And
wow.
I started it. I'm on issue 2, I think, right now. And I'm just knocked out. I'm like, wow, it deserved a win. It's really good.
That's great.
Yeah.
No, I'm on a mission to get back into the swing of things here and
read a bunch of Daredevil.
Yeah, my Marvel U account.
That's what I've been doing. I'll tell you the thing with that. They should sponsor us. We need to contact them. Do you have that, Jack? Marvel U?
Yes, I actually do.
Oh no, you have FU. That's something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so I love on there the a couple of things. The browse function, because the stuff at the top. That's how I found that Daredevil series. It just had. When you're browsing the top and I'm like, it has like Ms. Marvel's featured and Daredevil.
Yeah.
And I clicked on that Daredevil and it took me to that particular series.
Oh, wow.
And I went to issue 1 and I was like, oh, cool. I got through 14 and I stopped. I also just read Black Panther. I've never really read Black Panther, but there's a 5-issue run that I found on that browse that was Who is Black Panther was the name of it from like last year or 2 years ago. Fantastic. Really cool. I'm jacked for the movie after reading this.
Huh, cool.
But the other thing I love is that I think it's called Discover. Have you guys noticed? Have you been in there?
No.
It'll have like different headings. Like one is the works of Brian Bendis.
Oh yeah, where it gives you like
history of Iron Fist.
Yeah.
You go in and they've picked like maybe 10 key issues, and they're all over the place. Like I did I read the Ant-Man ones, and that was a great overview. Instead of having to like pick a series, you could kind of get an overview. And I found I forget which one I read. That might have been how I did Black Panther when I found something I liked and I stayed within that series, because you can either skip within the suggestions they give you, or you can go and read, like in this case, okay, I'm going to read issue 2 then of this and issue 3 of this and continue on that way. So I don't know, man. I love that Marvel U app. It gets busted on some, but I think everybody's wrong. It's awesome.
Well, I think it gets busted on some because you don't get the new things right away. 1, 2, people feel that they need to have the comic in their hand, and they think that this is taking it away.
I get that, but hell, man.
Exactly.
I can't. $10 a month, and there's 1 billion comics in there.
Right. Exactly. And I can't go back and find X-Men number 33 to read.
Right.
It's not easy.
And not everything is there. There is some stuff I've searched for that's just not there.
You know what, though? I bet you'll find it, because I was looking for the same thing.
Rom the Space Knight?
Weird.
I know you were.
I was not looking for Rom the Space Knight, but yeah, because I was looking for Kraven's Last Hunt.
Yeah. Did you find it in there?
I found it in there, yeah.
Oh, I couldn't find it. But that Spider-Man section is a mess because there's so many titles. It's hard to figure out what's where.
Exactly. You can't go in the series and search. It's just weird.
Yeah, and I read the Spider-Verse too. That was cool because it had, because that's all across the different titles, but it had them all in one place.
Yeah,
and that was a great series. I know you're into Spider-Man, but the artwork, because every book was different. It was really cool. I wish all the companies did that. I wish Image did it. I wish Dark Horse had it, and I wish DC had the same kind of thing, because it's so cool.
Well, before we get too far away, there's like...
Oh, we're talking about Daredevil.
Yes. There's 3 things towards the end that I want to go before we wrap it up.
Bring it in.
Number 1 was Madame Gao when Leland's talking about the heroin, and he's like, well, now what? And Gao says, that was just, a means to the end and is no longer necessary.
Yes.
So that's pretty dang deep. Like, she's not interested. First off, they have this whole like heroin infrastructure, and she's pretty much done with it and doesn't care. They're like into phase 2. And so, I think, is that going to bring like the whole Iron Fist thing? Or
I was going to say, I bet she's the big bad or one of the big bads in Iron Fist.
I don't think she's the bad. I think there's somebody else. And she's like she's kind of like the Wesley for the big bad.
Oh, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I don't know. But, I just thought it interesting that like this whole big giant heroin infrastructure is now completely like a non-entity.
Yeah, it's secondary. Yeah.
The second was the police. When Matt is leaving after saving everybody at the drug emporium, he jumps down. There's a cop. Freeze. He overpowers the cop. And he's like, you're the guy that shot those cops. And he puts it, and he whispers in his ear, these 2 guys were bad. I didn't, they were on the take for Wilson Fisk, which a lot of guys in your department are. And, and I didn't shoot those guys. And of course, he completely disappears. And then, so what was that about? Is this guy going to be his...
Like his inside man?
Inside man now?
Could be.
I mean, isn't that the guy that was that the same guy that they were giving the donuts to earlier with Foggy, or was that a different cat?
No, I think that was the same guy.
Okay, so
he's probably going to resurface as like a man on the inside,
right? So I think that's big. And then let's see, the cop, the heroin, and
how about in Ben's when he was looking at the picture, it had the Battle of New York picture.
Yeah,
that was
cool.
awesome. That was something. Those are the kind of things, those little Easter eggs that are hidden in there that I love.
Yeah, I mean, well, so and almost at the end, Matt just kind of falls apart and just starts actually crying into Karen's arms that he just can't do it by himself anymore. So I think, at the very least, he's bringing Karen in, and she's going to be part of it. And then,
right,
of course,
and we know where that leads if they follow that storyline.
Right. Which
but
also
I'm telling you, I
with,
think that's
Foggy.
I'm thinking that's not next season. I think that we've got to have at least a season of Matt and Karen being an item.
Right. Well, and
so maybe next season is when they become an item and Foggy's jilted.
I don't know. I think they'll be an item, but I think the bigger storyline is they'll kind of be Daredevil Central, kind of a dispatch or, the something, where that relationship will change in, more than one way.
Yeah, I don't want it to become like Arrow.
Well, I kind of see it going that way.
No, don't let that happen. This is too cool for that.
No, I think
don't fall into that trap. No, it's not.
It is.
No, they do the same stuff in the comics, and it doesn't lead to that.
No, I've already said it.
Oh, Jack said it.
Mark his words.
That's right. You're a notary, aren't you, Lil? You can mark that down.
Notarized.
See, I do it. You're from the Notary Republic.
I was going to say, if you watch The League, which is one of the greatest comedies on TV ever, but I know you hate sports, notarized for all those people out there that understand what I'm saying.
You mean League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
No, just The League.
Oh, okay.
Not the League of Geeks.
Nope, not the League Geeks either. The League.
Or the Jig of Leaks.
Yes. There's so many jigs and so many leaks.
My favorite podcast.
So many
Jig of Leaks.
Yeah, I like the Bad News Bears. That was a good sports movie. That was pretty awesome.
Oh, man.
1970s reference.
Hey, yes. Please, you don't love it, Jack.
I watched it, and I watched
How dare you?
How
dare you not say that it's awesome?
I will just admit I watched it.
All right. Lil, you got it on Blu-ray, don't you?
Actually, I don't. I like it, but I was never a huge fan of it.
I think it was, well, I don't know why Jack didn't love it, but for me, and I wasn't into baseball, obviously, but that one hit right on the money for me then. Loved it. Loved the TV series too. I remember playing outside with my friends, and that was one of the few, that and $6 Million Man, where it's I have to go in right now because the show's on.
Oh, I didn't say I didn't like it. It was just, I didn't like the remake. I thought the remake was...
I like the remake. I didn't like the 2 sequels, though.
Yeah, those were pretty horrible.
What is it? Breaking Training and Go to Japan?
Yeah.
Oh, those are bad.
Yeah, we could have 2 whole podcasts on how bad those were.
Yeah. Maybe if the Bad News Bears had met a werewolf, that would be interesting.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Yep. All right, are we done?
I think when we hit Bad News Bears meet a werewolf, I think it was over.
Yes.
Usually that's where we're beginning.
We'd like to announce the new podcast.
Right.
Yeah, join us to talk about Bad News Bears.
Breaking Bad News Bears.
Oh, Jack, I think we have a new podcast. That sounds awesome.
See, I told you.
Well,
mark my words. Patreon
subscribers, thank you so very much. We do this literally for you. So that's about it. After we wrap up this Daredevil series, we are going to stop with our Patreon account, I believe. So as much as we love the support, it's just not really the right format. So what we're going to do is we're going to just ask people that want to donate to just donate when they can on our website. There are ways for those of you that do, we have somebody that likes to do monthly, that you can arrange that with your bank to just make a monthly payment. And if you're doing that through Patreon now for $2 or $3, why not just switch to that? That's awesome. Put a couple of zeros at the end of that. That'd be even more awesome.
And if you do a $15 donation, I will give you a signed photograph of me.
Jack, stop scaring off the patrons.
No, I'll have clothes.
Oh, okay.
I swear.
I won't.
$25 and Lil does the milkshake dance for you. It's a private Skype session.
I will do a private milkshake dance.
And for $30, a Lil will notarize my picture.
Notarized.
That would be awesome. Wait a minute, that might be worth it. I might put in for that. Got a big mushroom stamp on it. Gross.
Do we take PayPal?
What?
All right. That's how you notarize, isn't it, a Lil?
You took this to a dark place.
Yep. Yeah, I did. Well, it's the Patreon show. Yeah. What the heck?
That's right. That's right. We can be dirty, right? So
that's right.
I can, clench on my nipples while I'm doing the milkshake.
Well, not that dirty.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Denotarized.
I think I just threw up in the back of my throat just a little.
All right. I say we end it. Thank you guys for listening, and thank you for subscribing. And we're about to start, when this is all over, we're about to kick right back into the regular Nuff Said. So thanks for doing this little experiment with us. And for those of you that didn't subscribe, you can't hear this, but no thanks, dudes. You didn't get a summer series.
That's right. You don't get what you don't pay for.
That's right. Wait a minute. Nobody's paying in the future. All right.
Well, there.
That's it. I'm done. Nuff said.
Nuff said.